Hello, Meremy. This video got inspired by a friend of mine and a conversation we had about crystal healing. Now, he's an atheist, but he is one of the good kind who actually respect others' opinions and such and such. But it got me thinking that it might be nice to make a video about basically how somebody with a non-spiritual idea of the world could see stone healing uh, and other those very typically new age methods because I personally don't think they are only for those of us who believe in something spiritual. Now, of course, there's a lot of spiritual jargon around these things and these methods. But the truth of the matter is that even us that are into it, we generally don't know. I mean, we have our theories about how it works, how it fits together, and so on. But there are no unified consensus about what makes stone healing work, what makes any of these things work. So one might as well use these methods with a non-spiritual worldview as not, because really one theory is as good as another. So yeah, and of course, for me personally, as an energist, I believe that stones and crystals inhabit energy, that they are crystallized, if you will, energy, and also attract energy and have a way to communicate with or affect the energy fields in us and around us, and as such can affect the world. However, you don't need to see it like that. Others feel that they are tuned to spirits, others feel that they're almost like computer programs that can send out information, therefore affect things. There's no right way or wrong way here. And for example, one thing that my mother, who is an alternative therapist, always says, because I mean she has customers who are not particularly spiritual, and at one point, somebody who is a skeptic said that, yeah, sure, you have a lot of good results, and most of your customers walk away better than when they can, but it's all placebo. And my mother then answered, okay, if it, what if it is? As long as my patients get better by what I do, who cares what causes it? I mean, I think that you have two ways to look at things here. One is basically, sure, from a scholarly point of view, it is interesting to know why something works. But from a downright practical point of view, it doesn't really matter. It only matters that it works. And of course, that is a debatable thing. Does it work? But when you think of it this way, so many people have good experience with these methods. So, I mean, if I were an atheist or a skeptic, I would be more inclined to say that probably there's something in the methods. Probably they work for these people who are practicing them. However, I would then be skeptical to the spiritual explanation of why they work. Now, let's look at human mind for a second. I mean, it's amazing, and there's amazing how much control our mind have over the body. I mean, they did some testing, I think it was in Denmark, but I'm not completely sure if I have the right nation here, where they tested if hypnosis could work on pain relief. And yeah, sure, there were several patients there that went and had minor operations, um, like those little operations where you make tiny little incisions and you just put a tube in and yeah, whatever, small operations without any form of painkillers of any kind, just under hypnosis, and I felt no discomfort. There was another experiment, I think that was in Sweden, but I'm not completely sure about that either because I tend to forget the nations about such things. Uh, where they told a lot of sailors that they had done a great job, so they would get a night on the town free on the continent. And there were some stacks of beer being brought in. Now, what these sailors didn't know was that the beer brought in had no alcohol in it. But I still acted and felt completely drunk. And there was another experiment where people were led to believe that they had been burned. They were led to believe that they were part of an experiment about the effect of burns on the human body. So they were led to believe that a patch on their hand had been burned. And quite a few of the test subjects developed blisters and the kind of bodily um, reactions that you would expect with a burn. I think that knowing that, and this is scientifically proven, knowing that the mind can affect the body to such a great degree, is it really then so far-fetched that the belief that a crystal can affect us can do the same? So that when I make rose quartz elixirs for my anxiety, I might believe it's the energy of the stone that helps me. But a skeptic might think it's my own mind that then tricks myself to think, no, I don't have any anxiety anymore. And the same if I wear stones in a pouch in my pocket to make new friends. I might think it's the energy of these stones attracting people to me. But I mean, yeah, it might be just as valid an explanation to say that it is my belief in this that makes me more confident and more friendly, and therefore increases the chance that I will make friends. And this same concept is true for almost all kinds of magic. That, I mean, isn't it better to see that when people, and I'm not saying that my friend I was talking about here said this because he's very respectful of everyone, but a lot of atheists, when you talk with them, they act like you're an idiot if you believe in anything. But wouldn't it be a more logical, since they price logic so high, idea to say that these things that so many people believe in, they happen, but they might not happen for the same reason that the practitioners believe. I mean, within magic, there's a whole model of magic, and I've discussed these before. Basically, meta paradigms to look at magic through. And one of these lenses is the mental model, which very much goes to the concept that magic is the manipulation of our own mind, and that again uh, creates change in our environment. I mean, one of the most respected Wiccans out there, Vivian Crowley, she follows this paradigm. She believes that magic is a way, it's methods to affect mind. So, yeah, I think that it is fully possible for somebody who do not have a belief in the supernatural to get a lot of use out of, for example, crystal healing, because you don't have to see it as a spiritual method. Now, of course, I and many others who practice this do believe that there are more to it than just way to trigger a placebo. Among other things, I have seen things like this work for animals and small children. I mean, that was homeopathy. I was treated with that when I was a little girl. And I mean, I haven't had a lot of good experiences with it now as an adult. But when I was a child, and I had no idea what these things were, but they did work for me. I doubt that I, as a 5-year-old girl who had absolutely no idea what homeopathy was, I was just given some little sugar balls to eat every now and then, and they were delicious. I doubt that I, at that point, were able to, that was a placebo for me when I didn't know what it was. And I have seen animals be healed by these various methods. And I doubt they have a placebo. Of course, some people say that, for example, one skeptic I talked with, so that when an animal is healed by some sort of alternative means, it's that the owner believes they will be healed, and so they sort of impart that to the animal. I think that's stretching it a bit, but I mean, if that works as an explanation for you, have at it. My point of it is, when you say it works because of a placebo, you're still saying it works. I mean, there's a lot of things in my house that I have absolutely zero idea how it works. I have only a basic understanding of how the computer I am now currently talking to works. How it happens to be able to translate the images of me yapping at it into a video that I can put up on YouTube. So yeah, um, I don't need to know absolutely how everything works. And I think that for me as a mystic, it would sort of suck really to know how all of the methods I use work 100%. Because the road is more important than the destination. But I am getting off topic. My point is this, and this is not really saying ha ha to the atheists. I mean, if they don't want to practice this method, by all means. My point is that these things can be pretty useful, and I think that, and I think it's a bit of a shame that people just close their minds to them and say, no, no, I want nothing to do with these things because they don't fit into my worldview. And I'm sort of telling you that you can easily find ways to look at it that will fit into your worldview. Because, I mean, stones, what do we know? Perhaps that's chemicals that are activated when you touch them and so on that affects our body chemistry. That is how it works. Or perhaps the colors do something with our mind. Or, like I said, there's the placebo explanation. There's a lot of ways that crystal healing can work. That does not have anything to do with the spiritual. And really, you can see it that way with any kind of magic or the occult. That, sure, most occultists have a somewhat spiritual view of what we're doing. But there are also quite a few atheist occultists who believe that magic is just a way to affect our minds or rituals to get processes going. It doesn't have anything to do with the spiritual. So yeah, I think that for many atheists, perhaps you should consider whatever or not it's the methods you don't. Basically, the belief behind the methods you disagree with, or if it is the possibility that these methods can have an effect if the person believes in them, if you disagree with. Because really, for me, I have tools available for me to better my life. And then it's not that important to me if it's energies on my own mind that creates those betterments. It might be my own mind for all I know. So perhaps, sorry, there's a phone going off in the background. Can you please just take it? Well, I have to go. So yeah, I have said what I wanted to say. Goodbye. Blessed be.